postings this week, at least not my usual readings, because I'm going through some stuff. And I just feel like when my energy is vibrating high like this and I have emotional things that I'm going through, I don't feel like I can give a clear collective reading. Yes, I understand that I am also part of the collective, and I definitely use tarot when I'm journaling in the morning for my own help, because I understand that the tarot and psychology go hand in hand, and we can use tarot as another tool to be like a therapist. But anyway, I sent an email out, and I've been trying to, I'm on my way to work, and I've been sitting here in the car, talking to myself about all the things that I want to say. So I sent an email out yesterday morning to Wes. His channel is Galactic Lion 144. I really recommend that you guys go check him out. I cannot express my love and gratitude to that man enough. And in that email, I had stated that I had just closed out an addiction cycle, and I felt like I didn't resonate with a lot of his messages right now because I'm closing that addiction cycle out for myself. And I guess that's kind of probably what I'm going through this week, is releasing some of that baggage. Because I grew up in a family of alcoholics. I've been around it my whole life. And when I was 15, I was exposed to hard drugs for the first time. I was also exposed to casual sex for the first time. And as a 15-year-old, you trauma bond. When you're a kid, you trauma bond. And I used to babysit these kids for a single dad, and he was 35 at the time, and I was only 15, so 20-year age gap. And this is probably where my tendency to gravitate toward older men also comes from, a lot older. Me and my roommate are 17 years apart. So that's also interesting, because we've been in a 17-year relationship. Well, anyway, so when I was 15, this guy that I babysat for, he would have me babysit either on a Friday or Saturday night, and he'd go out with his cousins and buddies, and they would come back and smoke crack in front of me. And I was having a sexual relationship with the man that I was babysitting for. And I trauma bonded, because not only did that happen, but at one point right before I quit babysitting for them, I don't exactly remember what led to it. I don't know, but it ended up with me screwing 3 different guys and giving blow. Basically, I think he prostituted me out that night. I really, really do. And I had blocked that memory out of my mind for almost 30 years. And it was just within the last 6 months that I've been able to work through that. But fast forward, and my 2 oldest children, who are 19 and 21 now, their father was a heavy drinker, and he drank a lot when we were in high school. His family is drugs fucking scared me. And it wasn't until I got married to my husband, well, ex-husband, whatever you want to call him, the divorce never got finalized, for no other reason than we just didn't really care about whether or not we got divorced, whatever. We're living two separate lives in two different states. So he's a recovered alcoholic, but when we were married, it was nothing for him to come home from work and drink a 12-pack and then want to go get another one. And it didn't really bother me until I realized all the fucked up shit that he was doing when he was drinking. And even then, I never really, connected any sort of dots. And then, his leaving probably had something to do with the alcoholism and the depression when he left me and the kids. But, anyway, I'm not his therapist, so I can't really. Anyway, he lived that rock and roll lifestyle for the whole time we were separated until just recently, but he's been sober for about 10 years now. Well, anyway, when I was 25, Alex had already been gone almost a year, and me and Adam got together. And 5 of those years, and he's 17 years older than me, 5 of those years he was married to and living with his then wife. And I was the other woman. And when she found out about our relationship 5 years into it, she left him. And he relapsed from 15 years of sobriety from crack cocaine. And for the last 12 of the years that we've been together, well, anyway, he's been on this roller coaster ride of addiction. And I spent so many years being angry and pissed off, and it was no good for me at all to live that way. And it was just this year when I finally decided to release him, well, within the last year, when I finally decided to release him and just live his life and figure it out on his own, that I was able to understand that the trauma bonding that I did when I was 15 absolutely related to this relationship right now. And not only did I trauma bond way back then, but I trauma binded myself to this one too. But I finally saw where the trauma bond was and realized that I didn't even like the person I was living with. He'd get 90, 120 days sober, and I still didn't like him. He's so narcissistic and egotistical, and he tries so hard to be cool and smooth, and he's not. He's a fucking womanizer. He's disgusting. It's just everything in a person that I don't want to be with, and that's him sober. And it just opened my eyes to a whole lot of things. But because I am closing out this cycle of addiction and I still don't understand it, I told Wes I really didn't understand. I wasn't resonating with his message. And he speaks a lot to the people that have addictions, and that's any kind of addiction. To substance substances, but we can have addictions to other things. We're addicted to our phones. Some of us are smokers. There's that whole thing with fear of missing out. Like, social media is a huge addiction, and I'm recommending to everybody that you take a social media break. I also need to take a social media break. But anyway, so I want to further say that my heart goes out to you if you are struggling with any kind of substance addiction. I cry for you guys every night because I see what a hollow pit excuse me, I see what a hollow pit of despair it puts people into. And my heart bleeds for you guys. So this message is just going out to tell anybody that is having an issue with substance abuse. I'm learning still myself about it from an onlooker's standpoint. But if you really want to be able to talk to somebody and hear messages of hope and inspiration to help you get out of that cycle for yourself, please go over to Wes's channel, Galactic Lion 144. His name is Wes. And he's a wonderful, loving man who has lived through some shit. And he can help you guys where I can't. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a really good weekend. And I'll catch you on the next video. Love you.